Some minds don't sleep, they remember.
Hello, you. Some nights need more than just sleep, they need a voice. Still awake? Me too. Let's keep each other company for a while. Here we are again, in the quiet stillness of the night. Tonight, I won't lull you with dreams. Tonight, we will face the moment when a dream is tested by fire itself. Every legend needs a trial to become immortal in the hearts of people, to etch its name into the flow of time. Every king, no matter how mighty, needs a battle to prove that their throne is not just a symbol of power, but a testament to resilience, courage, and an unyielding spirit. Every faith, no matter how profound, needs a moment of deep doubt, where darkness seems to swallow all the light, only for that faith to be forged anew, stronger than ever, like steel tempered in a blazing furnace. And on a Wednesday afternoon, July 16, 2025, destiny knocked on the door of Tomorrowland, the kingdom of dreams, the sanctuary of free spirits, where music and light intertwine to create magic. But on that day, Tomorrowland was no longer a place of joyous melodies or endless dances. It became a battlefield, where fire declared war on the very heart of the kingdom, where dreams teetered on the edge between existence and oblivion. The fire did not roar or flaunt its power. It whispered, a deadly, commanding whisper, like an ancient god descending with wrath. It silently licked through the fairy tale towers, the structures built from boundless imagination and the sweat of thousands. The giant silk flowers, once symbols of life and vibrant color, turned to ash in the blink of an eye. The fire danced mercilessly across ornate balconies, where, in just a few hours, the gods of electronic music, names like David Guetta, Martin Garrix, or Armin van Buuren, were meant to stand, weaving melodies that dissolve boundaries and connect millions of hearts from every corner of the world. Black smoke billowed into the Belgian sky, a thick, heavy column, not from the festival's smoke machines, but from the melting heart of Tomorrowland. The fire consumed a year of ideation, 6 months of tireless construction, and the dreams of millions who had prepared their souls for a pilgrimage to the sacred ground. It didn't just destroy physical structures, it challenged the spirit of those who had placed their faith in this kingdom. Those who saw Tomorrowland as a beacon of freedom, love, and immortal moments. And then, as swiftly as it came, the fire departed, leaving behind a terrifying silence. But that silence was not peace. It left a colossal, blackened skeleton of what was once a magnificent palace, a marvel of human imagination. A ghostly figure stood alone in the blood-red sunset, a grim monument to the fragility of the most beautiful things. The pillars that once shimmered with light were now charred ruins, fragments of a shattered dream. The stages that once pulsed with bass were now silent, like a desolate battlefield after a firestorm. The news spread faster than the flames, carried by social media, frantic posts, heartbreaking images, and the anguished cries of millions across the globe. The main stage of Tomorrowland, the heart of the kingdom, the symbol of its dreams, where music turned into magic, had been utterly destroyed, not damaged, not wounded in a way that time or effort could heal, completely gone, as if it had never existed, as if it were all a mirage dissolved in smoke. 48 hours, not just a number on a clock, a merciless verdict, an unrelenting challenge. 48 hours remained before the gates of the kingdom were said to open, welcoming hundreds of thousands of devotees from over 200 countries, people who saw this journey as the sacred pilgrimage of their lives. 48 hours to confront a brutal truth: the kingdom had lost its heart. Just before its most anticipated moment of the year, 48 hours to decide whether the dream could go on or would be buried forever in ash. But amid this profound tragedy, there was a small, fragile, yet infinitely precious miracle. Like a faint ray of light piercing the thick black smoke, no one was hurt. Thousands of workers, artisans, and staff presented the sight. Those who had poured their sweat and soul into building this kingdom were all safe. Not a drop of blood was spilled, not a single life was lost. The fire had ruthlessly stolen the palace, but it could not touch the soul of the kingdom, the people who created it and the people journeying toward it. That stroke of fortune hung in the air, a reminder that though the kingdom could be wounded, though its palace could crumble, the soul of Tomorrowland, its community, remained intact, alive, and hopeful. The world held its breath, watching. Millions of eyes turned to Boom, Belgium, where a dream was once built, and now, where that dream was being tested. Imagine with me for a moment. Put yourself in the shoes of one of the 400,000 fortunate souls who secured a coveted ticket to Tomorrowland. Perhaps you fought a digital war, sitting for hours in front of a screen, battling millions of others worldwide to claim that ticket. Perhaps you saved for a year, worked overtime, took on 2 jobs, skipped other vacations, even forewent fancy dinners, all to make this journey possible. Your suitcase is packed, tucked neatly under your bed, a constant reminder that the dream is near. Your plane ticket and itinerary are printed, folded carefully on your desk, each word a promise of unforgettable moments. Your mind is no longer at home. It's already in the fields of Boom, Belgium, weeks or even months ahead, imagining yourself standing in the crowd, under the radiant glow of the main stage, lost in melodies that shake the world, feeling your heartbeat sync with the bass. And then, in an unthinkable moment, perhaps as you're at the airport, on a train cutting through European fields, or driving toward your dream, your phone buzzes, a notification pops up, an unbelievable image fills the screen, the main stage of Tomorrowland. The kingdom's symbol, reduced to a pile of ash, a blackened skeleton standing silently in the sunset. A headline cuts through you like a knife, piercing your chest, shattering every hope. What's the first thing you feel? Collapse, as if the world has crumbled beneath your feet, leaving a cold void, bitter disappointment, as the dream you've waited so long for vanishes like smoke, or disbelief, a defense mechanism of the mind, convincing you this is just a cruel prank, an overzealous marketing stunt, a nightmare you'll soon wake from. Maybe you open the app again, check the news, hoping it's a mistake, a fake image, a terrible misunderstanding, but the truth remains, unyielding. The heart of Tomorrowland has been burned to ash. Hundreds of thousands of tickets sold, millions of dreams en route to Belgium, from over 200 countries, from every corner of the planet, a wave of humanity, carrying hope, joy, and a longing to connect, converging on a destination whose heart has stopped beating. The main stage, where legends of music once shook the skies, is now just a charred memory, an open wound in the hearts of those who placed their faith in this kingdom. And it raises a question, not just for Tomorrowland's organizers, not just for the artists preparing to take the stage, but for all of us who believe in dreams, who have poured our faith and love into this kingdom. The question isn't what happened. That's for investigators, insurance companies, and tabloids chasing sensational headlines. The real question, the one that matters most, is what happens next? So, after all this, I want you and me to answer a question together. This soul we're talking about, where does it really live? Think of a place you truly cherish. It doesn't have to be Tomorrowland. Maybe it's a familiar cafe, a street corner full of memories, or a stadium where you once erupted in joy at a victory. Where does the soul of that place lie? Is it in the walls, the architecture, or is it in something else? Something intangible but so vivid you can feel it more clearly than anything. Maybe it's the moment your heart races to a familiar rhythm, the embraces from strangers who feel closer than family, the incredible feeling of knowing that, even if just for a few fleeting days, you can live as your truest self, without judgment, without pretense. And maybe right now, you're realizing that the soul of a place isn't in its physical form. It's in the emotions, it's in the connections, it's in the memories. Now, I want to ask you a question. It's both simple and profound. If you had to use just one word to capture this intangible soul, to describe the entire world of emotions we've just journeyed through, what would your word be? Take a moment to think and leave that one word in the comments. We've found the soul of this kingdom with our hearts, but now, our rational minds speak up, planting a very real fear within us. Can a soul, no matter how strong, survive without a body to inhabit? Can a dream float forever without a home? In other words, can Tomorrowland go on without its main stage, without its magnificent palace? This is the greatest challenge, and in the next part, we'll face it together. We'll witness how this untouchable soul calls forth a global embrace. We'll see ordinary people from every corner of the planet rise to protect a shared dream. We'll see a community turn tragedy into opportunity, loss into strength, and ashes into the first bricks of a new kingdom. Stay with us, because this story isn't over. It's only just beginning, and the light of Tomorrowland will never be extinguished. The untouchable soul. In the previous part, we stood amid the ashes of a magnificent palace, with a looming question hanging in the air, echoing relentlessly. Can a dream die when flames rise? Tonight, we won't seek answers through dry analysis or cold logic. Tonight, we'll search with our hearts, our emotions, and our faith in the miracles that no fire can burn. To answer that question, we must first understand what Tomorrowland is truly built from. It's not wood, steel, fiberglass, or the giant LED screens that shimmer with light. If that were all Tomorrowland was, the story would have ended on the night of Wednesday, July 16, 2025, when the fire consumed the main stage, leaving a blackened skeleton in the fields of Boom, Belgium. The ashes would be the final chapter, and the kingdom would fade into oblivion. But no, Tomorrowland is not its physical structures. It is built on an invisible, untouchable foundation that no fire, no matter how ferocious, can reach. To understand that foundation, we must travel back to the journey of a dream that became a legend. Tomorrowland was born in 2005, from the passion of two Belgian brothers, Manu and Michiel Beers, who dared to dream big in a small town called Boom. It began as a modest electronic music festival, with a few thousand attendees, held in a simple field. No one could have predicted that from those humble first steps, an empire of creativity would rise, a kingdom would take shape, and a legend would be written. What made Tomorrowland different? It wasn't just the music has always been the festival's heart. Tomorrowland turned each year into a mythological tale, a journey leading hundreds of thousands into fantastical worlds. Each edition brought a new theme, woven from boundless imagination, from the Book of Wisdom with its colossal stages resembling ancient tomes, to Anacorum Spectaculum with the vibrant energy of a magical circus, to the Elixir of Life with shimmering fountains like pure magic. Tomorrowland's stages were not just platforms for speakers, they were monumental works of art, portals to other worlds where the boundaries of reality dissolved. But what truly set Tomorrowland apart wasn't the grandeur of its stages or the mesmerizing light shows. It was the core philosophy woven into every detail. Live today, love tomorrow, unite forever. This wasn't a slogan hastily printed on posters for attention. It was the constitution of this kingdom, the guiding star for everything Tomorrowland represents. Every detail of Tomorrowland reflects this philosophy. The ticket isn't just a piece of paper, it's an invitation. Designed like a treasure map, a promise of adventure, the Tomorrowland wristband, given to every attendee, isn't just an entry tool, it's a symbol of connection, a reminder that you're part of something greater. In Dreamville, Tomorrowland's legendary campsite, isn't just a place to rest, it's a village of dreams, where tens of thousands from across the globe live together, sharing stories, food, and smiles, like a global family. From that foundation, a true kingdom was born, a kingdom without a king or queen, only its people, the people of tomorrow. Free spirits who transformed Tomorrowland into a symbol of unity, love, and undying dreams. Look at it, look at the real Tomorrowland. It's not the magnificent architecture or the dazzling light effects. It's the kingdom of people, a sea of humanity stretching endlessly. Hundreds of thousands of faces from over 200 countries, each carrying a story, a dream, a yearning to connect. They raise their homeland's flags, from vibrant Brazil to elegant Japan, from free-spirited Australia to icy Norway, not to show division, but to celebrate diversity and unity. Here, there are no borders, no politics, no conflicts. Only one language resonates from the massive speakers, cutting through every barrier: music. Look at the smiles, smiles that need no words to understand, no dictionary to interpret. The smile of a young man from Mexico, sharing his last bottle of water with a girl from South Korea he just met in the crowd. A natural act of kindness, the smile of two best friends who saved for a year, worked tirelessly to stand here together, embracing and crying with joy as their favorite song plays. A reminder that every effort was worth it. The smile of a young woman, standing in the crowd, realizing she doesn't need to hide who she is, that she is loved and accepted, just as she is. Look at the embraces, the hugs of complete strangers, connected only by a shared melody, a moment when every heart beats as one. It's where a banker from London can dance with a farmer from Kenya, and in that moment, they are nothing but two humans living fully, loving fully, happy fully. It's where a single mother from Argentina can hold hands with a young man from India, dancing under radiant lights, as if they've known each other forever. This is the soul of Tomorrowland. This is what no fire can touch. A stage, no matter how grand or meticulously built, is just a vessel, a crystalline goblet crafted to hold the precious wine within. But the true soul of Tomorrowland isn't in the goblet, it's in the wine itself, the fierce energy, the burning love, the unity of hundreds of thousands of people. The goblet may shatter, the palace may fall, but the essence inside, that precious wine, will never vanish. It will keep flowing, keep spreading, keep living. And that's why, though the fire may have succeeded in destroying the physical structure, it failed miserably in extinguishing a dream. They could burn a stage, but they couldn't burn an idea. They couldn't burn the friendship forged between two people from different continents who met here 5 years ago and return each year like a sacred vow. They couldn't burn the memory of a melody that played at the exact moment someone felt their lowest, giving them the strength to rise again, to keep fighting. They couldn't burn the feeling of belonging, the feeling of being yourself, fully accepted, in a world that can sometimes be too harsh, too judgmental. It's the moment you look around, among thousands, and realize they're just as quirky, just as wild as you. They carry the same big dreams, the same quiet fears, the same longing to be loved. And in that moment, you know you're not alone. Tomorrowland isn't just a festival. It's a home, a refuge, a kingdom where every soul is welcome. The soul of Tomorrowland was never truly in Boom, Belgium. It's not in the lavish stages or towering structures. It's in the hearts of millions across the planet, those who've been here, those who dream of being here, and those who carry the spirit of Tomorrowland in every beat of their hearts. It's an invisible kingdom, built from memories, emotions, and a shared belief in what's good, in the power of unity and love. The fire burned a physical symbol, but in doing so, it inadvertently made Tomorrowland's spiritual symbol shine brighter and stronger than ever. It took the palace but revealed the true heart of the kingdom, a heart that cannot be destroyed, cannot be extinguished. The fire, no matter how cruel, was just a fleeting moment, but the soul of Tomorrowland is eternal. The global embrace. In the previous part, we reached a bold conclusion. The soul of Tomorrowland doesn't lie in its grand physical structures or lavish stages, but in the hearts of millions across the planet, the people of tomorrow who made this festival an immortal symbol of unity and love. But that's a beautiful idea, a romantic philosophy, a spiritual flame that burns brightly but feels fragile. In the dark night after the physical flames have died, as the organizers stand before a pile of ashes and a relentless ticking clock, can a philosophy, no matter how beautiful, have the strength to revive a kingdom? Can a soul, no matter how untouchable, survive without a physical body to inhabit? The world held its breath, waiting for an answer, and then the world answered, not with empty words or hollow comforts, but with an embrace that stretched from every corner of the globe, wrapping Tomorrowland in its darkest hour. The answer didn't come from a polished press conference or an official statement from the organizers. It came from every nook of the planet, from ordinary people, from stars, from communities that seemed unrelated. It was a symphony of unity, proof that this kingdom doesn't just belong to Belgium, but to the entire world. Imagine you're one of Tomorrowland's organizers, sitting in a makeshift office at 3 a.m., exhausted and despairing. The ashes of the main stage still haunt your mind. The clock on the wall ticks down, reminding you that in just 48 hours, hundreds of thousands will arrive, expecting a miracle. You glance at your phone, bracing for cancellation messages, lawyer emails, or public criticism. But instead, what do you see? First, a tweet from a top DJ in Miami, one of the most anticipated stars for the main stage. You hold your breath, expecting a cancellation, a cold withdrawal statement. But the words read, "The stage is just wood and steel. Our music and love are not. Whatever happens, I'm coming to Belgium." Those words, brief but powerful, are like a torch lighting up the night. Then, another DJ from Amsterdam posts a video, his voice brimming with emotion. He says, "I started my career with 2 turntables on beer crates in a small room. If I have to, I'll do it again at Tomorrowland. We don't need a big stage, we just need each other." He ends with a smile, and you realize that even the biggest stars aren't here for the spotlight. They're here for the spirit of this kingdom. And then, something unthinkable happens. Other music festivals, competitors like Ultra Music Festival, Electric Daisy Carnival, DEFCON .1, don't seize the chance to gain market share or overshadow Tomorrowland. Instead, they post messages of support. A post from Ultra reads, "Today, we're not competitors, we're family. Tomorrowland, we stand with you." Another festival offers to lend sound equipment, lighting, even technical crews. In a cutthroat business world where profit often trumps all, this is a moment of truce, a reminder that all of them, despite their differences, are part of a greater culture, the culture of electronic music, of connection, of love. But the strongest, warmest embrace doesn't come from stars or corporations. It comes from the kingdom's own people, the people of tomorrow. Across continents, from bustling cities to tiny villages, Tomorrowland's fans begin to speak out. They don't mourn the burned stage. They don't demand refunds or complain about inconvenience. They act with a fierce spirit and an unwavering belief that this dream cannot be extinguished. A new hashtag emerges, not from Tomorrowland's marketing team, but from the community itself. Hashtag The Fire Unites Us. Hundreds of thousands of posts, photos, and videos from past years flood social media, not to lament the past, but to remind each other of what they've had and what they'll never lose. A fan from Japan posts a photo of their flag waving in the crowd last year. Captioned, "This year, this flag will fly higher, because we're stronger than the fire." A group of friends from Brazil, who saved for 2 years to attend, post a video from the airport, smiling and saying, "We don't care about the stage. We're on our way. See you in Dreamville." And then, a phrase, a declaration, begins to appear again and again, from thousands of different people, in dozens of languages, from Instagram posts to Twitter threads to private messages sent to the organizers. "We didn't come for the fireworks. We came for each other." Those simple yet powerful words become the unofficial manifesto of Tomorrowland 2025. It's not just a promise, it's a vow that this kingdom will not fall, that this dream will not die, because it's built from hearts beating as one. In that moment, something magical happens. The tragedy of a burned stage is transformed. It's no longer a story of loss, of what was taken. It becomes a pilgrimage, a journey to prove to the world that the philosophy of Unite Forever isn't just a slogan printed on t-shirts or etched on wristbands. It's a living truth, pulsing in the chests of hundreds of thousands, from those standing in Boom, Belgium, to those on planes, trains, or roads leading to this kingdom. They proved that this kingdom could lose its palace, its main stage, but it could never lose its people. And that is the greatest asset, the true strength of Tomorrowland. The fire may have burned wood and steel, but it could not touch the love, the unity, the indomitable spirit of those who made Tomorrowland a legend. Can you believe it? From the ashes of a tragedy, another fire was kindled, a fire of love and unity from across the globe. Seeing this, maybe you, like me, feel a surge of inspiration. It reminds me that this strength doesn't just exist in grand events. It's present in our own lives. Think back, have you ever witnessed an act of unity, no matter how small, that touched your heart? Maybe it's the sight of a neighborhood rolling up their sleeves, cleaning up after a storm, with no one asking, just smiles and encouragement. Maybe it's learning your colleagues quietly came together to help someone in need. A silent act filled with humanity, or even something simpler. A stranger stopping their car in a rush of traffic to help you pick up something you dropped. Those moments aren't just actions, they're reminders that kindness is always there, that the best in us shines brightest in the face of darkness. Now, it's your turn. I want to hear your story. Share in the comments a moment of unity that made you believe that, no matter what, we have each other. The global embrace has wrapped Tomorrowland in a tremendous spiritual strength. But we all know, and maybe you're thinking it too, spirit is vital. But what now? A spiritual flame needs a stage to shine. A dream needs a place to take form. Time is running out. What can be done? Who will do it? And that's the question we'll answer in the next and final part. We'll witness how unsung heroes, from engineers to artists to ordinary fans, turn that spiritual embrace into a symphony of action. They'll show the world that from the ashes, the new kingdom can be built, not just as it was, but stronger, brighter, and more eternal than ever. Stay with us until the end, because this story isn't over. It's only just begun, and the light of Tomorrowland will keep shining, no matter the challenge. symphony from the storm. In the previous part, we saw a global embrace envelop Tomorrowland, words of encouragement from music stars, messages of solidarity from rival festivals, and above all, the tidal wave of love from the people of tomorrow. But love, no matter how warm, cannot rebuild a scaffold. Unity, no matter how strong, cannot turn back the clock. On the evening of Thursday, July 17, 2025, just 36 hours after the fire that consumed the main stage, the world turns once more to the small town of Boom, Belgium, this time not to hear a joyous melody, but to await an answer, one that will shape the fate of this kingdom. In a makeshift press conference room, the silence is heavier than the silence after the fire died. Two unspoken questions hang in the air, weighty as lead, pressing on the organizers' shoulders. Cancel or continue? One answer will define collapse, ending the dreams of millions. The other will etch resilience, opening a new chapter in Tomorrowland's history. But no one in that room truly knows what the answer will be. The pressure from insurance companies, strict safety regulations, and logistical impossibilities, from equipment shortages to dwindling time, all point in one direction: cancellation. But Tomorrowland wasn't built on surrender. It was built on unbreakable dreams. And then, the festival spokesperson, a woman with weary eyes but a gaze as resolute as steel, steps forward before a sea of cameras. Millions worldwide watch through screens. Holding their breath, she takes a deep breath, as if drawing the kingdom's strength into her chest, and says a single sentence that changes the entire story: Tomorrowland will go on. A collective sigh of relief ripples across the globe, like an earthquake of hope. But this is not the end. It's the start of a new battle, a battle no longer against fire, but against the most merciless enemy, time. The spokesperson offers no perfect plan, no guaranteed miracle. Instead, she presents a bold gamble, an honest admission of uncertainty. She says, "We will do everything humanly possible." Two scenarios are on the table. The first scenario, the scenario of miracles, open the gates fully at 2 p.m. on Friday, with a stunning new main stage for everyone, a promise bordering on the impossible, a challenge beyond imagination, rebuilding one of the world's most complex stages from scratch in under 24 hours isn't construction, it's magic. It demands perfect coordination, limitless creativity, and a touch of madness from those who dare believe in the impossible. The second scenario, the scenario of reality, of humility. If we can't make it, the festival grounds won't open on Friday for the 38,000 people at Dreamville. They'll have their own party at the Gathering in Dreamville. Date ticket holders will access some areas. The festival will fully open to all on Saturday, a safer option, but also an admission that the dream might shrink before it shines again. The press conference ends, but the most frantic race in music festival history has just begun. Come with me into the fields of Deshore that Thursday night, a sleepless night, a night of unsung heroes, of hearts beating for a dream. The field is no longer a construction site, it's a giant emergency room, a military base gearing up for a final battle. Under blazing floodlights cutting through the pitch-black night, thousands move as one, a living organism fighting to reclaim its life. These aren't workers clocking hours or completing tasks. They're soldiers in a battle they cannot lose, not just for Tomorrowland, but for everyone who placed their faith in this kingdom. It's a symphony of ordered chaos, a masterpiece woven from sweat, determination, and extraordinary creativity. The orchestra is hundreds of engineers and construction workers, the kingdom's foot soldiers, clearing blackened debris at an unbelievable pace. The sound of hammers, drills, metal clanging, and shouted coordination creates a relentless, urgent rhythm, like the heartbeat of a heart fighting to survive. They erect new scaffolds, stretch tarps, and strive to transform the remnants of a dream into a structure worthy of Tomorrowland's soul. The lead musicians are the lighting, sound, and LED screen experts, modern-day sorcerers. They run miles of cables across the field, reprogram entire systems on overheating laptops, and work to connect equipment borrowed from across Europe into a seamless, awe-inspiring experience. They move at the speed of those who know each passing second brings them closer to dawn and to the moment of truth. And the conductor is the organizing team, operating from a makeshift war room in the field. They don't wield batons, but phones burning hot, connecting to the outside world. They call suppliers across Europe. We need every LED screen you have. No invoices, just deliver by 6 a.m. They contact DJ managers. The schedules change. Can Martin Garrix play at the library stage? We need an answer in 5 minutes. They coordinate with technical crews from other festivals who answered the call for help with equipment, manpower, and belief. They're not just rebuilding a stage, they're rebuilding faith, racing against dawn to prove this dream is worth fighting for. And in this majestic symphony, there's a special choir, an invisible but powerful force. It's the 38,000 people at DREAMVILLE's campsite, not far away. They've come from every corner of the world, carrying flags, dreams, and expectations. They've heard the news of the fire, seen the uncertainty through social media updates, yet they don't turn back, don't leave. They stay, pitching tents, raising flags, and waiting. From within the campsite, they hear the sounds of the worksite, hammers, machines, hurried footsteps. They see the floodlights glowing like beacons in the night. They don't know what tomorrow will bring, a reborn magical kingdom or a consolation party at Dreamville. But their waiting, their patience, their faith become an unseen energy, fueling those fighting on the other side of the fence. Imagine you're one of those 38,000 in Dreamville that night. You're in your tent, hearing the worksite's noises, seeing floodlights flicker through the thin fabric. You know that just a few hundred meters away, thousands are battling to save the dream you journeyed here for. Which scenario would you hope for? A grand festival, perhaps imperfect, but delivered as promised, with a main stage born from miracles, or a smaller party at Dreamville, a one-of-a-kind, historic experience, a story you'll tell your grandchildren. I was there, when Tomorrowland rose from the ashes. It's hard to find words for this feeling, isn't it, as we watch these unsung heroes turn the impossible into reality. And maybe you're wondering, like me, what quality do you admire most in them? In those who stay calm and creative in the eye of the storm? Is it intelligence, the way they look at rubble and see the shape of a new stage, piecing together fragments in ways no one could imagine? Or is it courage, the audacity to stake everything, reputation, effort, on a seemingly impossible gamble, a promise to the world that reason says can't be kept? Or perhaps, above all, it's teamwork, that moment when thousands of strangers work as one living organism, not for money, not for personal glory, but for a shared dream. It's hard to choose, because all three qualities seem to blend together, creating a miracle before our eyes. But if you had to pick one, which quality inspires you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. In adversity, human creativity is boundless. We've seen that, but time is finite, and the greatest battle now is against the ticking seconds, the dwindling minutes. All this effort, all this sweat and hope, will it be enough? Can they do it? This is the question we're all holding our breath for. In the next and final part of this series, we'll stop guessing. We'll witness what the dawn of Friday brings. Will it be a kingdom reborn in dazzling glory from the ashes, a testament to humanity's unimaginable strength, or a dream, still eternal, but forced to shrink before reality's harshness. Stay with us, because this is the defining moment. The final chapter of this story is about to be written, and the light of Tomorrowland awaits to shine. Dawn on the Dreamville fields. In the previous part, we stood amid a symphony of chaos, a frantic race against time, driven by two scenarios, one of impossible miracles, and one of harsh reality. Throughout Thursday night, thousands turned pain into action, transforming coffee, adrenaline, and determination into scaffolds, cables, and new structures. In Dreamville, 38,000 restless souls turned waiting into a silent prayer, a distant cheer for those fighting to save their kingdom. And now, the dawn of Friday, July 18, 2025, has arrived, casting its first radiant beams across the fields of Boom, Belgium, onto the exhausted but hopeful faces of the production team. The world, along with those 38,000 sleepless souls, holds its breath for an answer. When will the gates open? And when they do, will they reveal a complete kingdom, or just half a dream? 2 p.m., Friday, July 18, 2025, the gates of Tomorrowland open. The miracle has happened. Imagine that moment, when hundreds of thousands of hearts beat as one. The crowd surges forward, not with slow steps, but with eager runs, as if racing toward a dream once threatened. They laugh, they cry, tears streaming down faces painted with glitter and color. Flags from over 200 countries fly higher than ever, not as symbols of national borders, but as banners of victory for a kingdom that survived a brutal battle. Each flag, from vibrant Brazil to elegant Japan, from icy Norway to free-spirited Australia, waves in the wind, proclaiming that this kingdom still stands, undeterred by fire. They don't see a scene of ruin, a field of ash and broken dreams. Instead, they see a rebirth, a marvel forged from unity and resilience. The main stage may not be the fire-breathing dragon or fairy tale castle of the original design. It might be simpler, rougher, assembled in a miraculous 48 hours from available materials, scaffolds borrowed from other festivals, LED screens patched together from multiple sources, tarps stretched by hundreds of volunteers. But that imperfection tells a story greater than any flawless design in Tomorrowland's history. It's not just a stage, it's a monument to resilience, a scar of pride, proof that from ashes, a new kingdom can rise. And then, the music begins. In that moment, when the first notes burst from the speakers, it's no longer just music, it's a declaration, a roar echoing through the field, through the hearts of hundreds of thousands, and out to the world. It's a declaration that they've won, not just against the fire that consumed the main stage, but against time, doubt, and despair. Each bass drop pounding in their chests is an affirmation. We are still here. We are alive. We are dreaming. Look at the crowd, a sea of people exploding with energy unlike any year before. Every raised hand, every dance step, every sung lyric carries a new, deeper meaning. They're not just partying, not just dancing, they're celebrating life, unity, and the indomitable human spirit. Each movement is a response to the fire, a reminder that no matter how cruel fate is, they can rise, hold hands, and create miracles. A top DJ steps onto the stage, his eyes glistening with emotion as he gazes at the sea of people. He doesn't start with the usual, Tomorrowland, how you feeling? Instead, he pauses, removes his headphones, and stands still, as if trying to hold the moment in his heart. Then he speaks, voice thick with feeling, nearly breaking. No, don't ask me how I'm feeling. Tell me, how am I feeling? I feel proud, proud to stand here, on a stage built from love and unity. But more than that, I'm proud to be part of all of you tonight. You are the legends. The crowd roars, a sound that shakes the earth, as if the earth itself is joining the symphony of joy and triumph. That roar isn't just excitement, it's the voice of a community that overcame, of a kingdom that found itself in its darkest hour. And that's when everyone realizes a truth. Tomorrowland 2025 may not have the biggest, most glamorous stage in its history, but it has the most united crowd, the biggest heart. That year's experience isn't about the perfection of a structure or the grandeur of a performance. It's about the participation of every individual, from the technicians working through the night to the fans standing under the blazing sun, raising their flags. Every person at Tomorrowland that year isn't a passive spectator. They're an essential part of the rebirth story. They are the stage. They are the new fire, a fire of hope, love, and defiance. They proved together that a true kingdom isn't built from wood and steel, from perfect designs or cutting-edge technology. It's built from love, connection, and unwavering faith in each other. That's what no fire, no matter how fierce, can burn. That's what made Tomorrowland 2025 a legend, not for what it lost, but for what it found within itself. We did it. Dawn has broken over the fields of boom, and that stage, though unlike any original design, though born from chaos and imperfect pieces, might just be the most beautiful version yet. Maybe right now, looking at it, you're realizing something magical, that sometimes, the most unforgettable, meaningful memories are born from imperfection. Think about your own life. Have you ever had a trip where you got lost, only to stumble upon a breathtaking place no map could show? Been to a party where the power went out, and in the candlelit darkness, people grew closer, talking and connecting more deeply than ever? Had a plan fall apart, only for that collapse to open the door to an unexpected miracle. I believe we all have a story like that, a moment when the unexpected, the chaotic, or even a failure turned into a memory we smile at whenever we recall it. Share your imperfect but perfect moment in the comments, a story that taught you that true beauty often lies in the unpredictable. The dream didn't just survive, it became more radiant after being tested by fire. Tomorrowland 2025 proved that a kingdom can be rebuilt, not from materials, but from hearts that never give up. So, after all this, what remains, when the music ends and everyone goes home? What lingers forever? In the final part of this series, we won't talk about the event anymore. We'll talk about the legacy not just of Tomorrowland, but of all of us who followed, hoped, and believed. A legacy of community strength and an eternal flame that never fades. Stay with us until the very end, because this story of fire and rebirth may conclude, but its legacy is forever. The eternal flame. We've walked a long journey together, starting in the cold darkness, where the crackling of a destructive fire echoed through the night. We've passed through moments of doubt and despair, where the dream seemed to teeter on the brink of oblivion. We've witnessed an untouchable soul redefined, radiant and resilient as ever. We've felt the warm embrace of the world, wrapping Tomorrowland in its darkest hour. We've held our breath watching the symphony of creativity bloom amid a brutal storm. And finally, we've erupted in the dazzling dawn over the dream fields of Boom, Belgium. This journey, with all its emotional highs and lows, has brought us here, to this moment, where we must answer one final question. What is the story of Tomorrowland 2025 really about? Is it a story of tragedy? Of a main stage burned to ashes, a dream threatened, an unprecedented disaster in the history of events? Is it a tale of years of meticulous planning, grand architecture, and millions of dreams turned to smoke in a single afternoon on July 16? 2025? No, that's just the setting, the opening chapter of a far greater story. The fire, though ruthless and fierce, didn't define Tomorrowland's downfall. The response of millions afterward defined its greatness. Tragedy doesn't define us. How we face tragedy, how we rise from the ashes, is what carves our mark into the flow of time. History won't remember Tomorrowland 2025 as a story of a burned stage. It will remember the hundreds of thousands who danced atop the ashes, not to defy the fire, but to prove that the human spirit is eternal. History will remember competitors who set aside self-interest to become allies, fans who let go of disappointment to become builders, and artists who turned the loss into inspiration. The fire of July 16th, in a way, became the ultimate test, a cruel gift bestowed by fate. It burned away everything unnecessary, the glossy veneer of fireworks displays, the intricate architecture, the material details once seen as Tomorrowland symbols. It forced everyone, organizers, artists, attendees, to confront a fundamental, inescapable question. Why are we here? The answer rang out, not in words, but in actions, emotions, moments that shook the world. It echoed in every dance step, as thousands of feet stomped the field, declaring to the universe that this dream cannot be extinguished. It resounded in every tear of joy, as strangers embraced under the glow of makeshift stages. Built from unity and determination, it reverberated in every hug, as people from every corner of the world, from bustling cities to remote villages, found each other, connected, became one. They didn't come for a lavish castle or a stage adorned with millions of LED lights. They came for the feeling of coming home, a home with no walls, no roof, but built from love, unity, and faith in what's good. Tomorrowland 2025 wasn't just a festival. It was living proof that in the darkest moments, humanity can find the light, not from outside, but from within. The fire, thought to be a disaster, became a powerful metaphor. It showed that from the most painful losses, a new beauty, a new strength, can be born. It was the image of the phoenix, the mythical creature that must burn itself in flames to rise from the ashes, more radiant, more powerful, more eternal than ever. Tomorrowland 2025 was that phoenix. It had to endure the fire to rediscover its purest soul, to realize that its true strength lies not in what it builds with wood and steel, but in the people who believe in it, who made it a global icon. And now, Tomorrowland's legacy has been rewritten. It's no longer just the world's biggest electronic music festival, where top DJs shake the skies. It's become a global symbol of resilience, of community strength, of unwavering faith in humanity. The story of Tomorrowland 2025 will be told to future generations, not as a warning of the fragility of physical structures, but as an inspiration of the power of united hearts. It will be told as a tale of how millions, from every corner of the world, stood up, held hands, and declared that no fire could extinguish their dream. The physical fire of July 16th died long ago, leaving behind a field of ash, but it ignited another flame, one that will never fade, burning brightly in the hearts of everyone who was there, everyone who heard this story, everyone who believed in the power of unity. It's the flame of hope, of love, the faith that after the darkest night, the dawn will always be brighter. It's the flame of promises kept, of dreams reborn, of new doors opening when old ones close. That is the legacy of Tomorrowland. That is the eternal flame, a flame that doesn't just light the fields of Boom, Belgium, but spreads across the world, inspiring those who dare to dream, to love, to believe in the power of humanity. In your own life, have you ever had a moment when a loss, a failure, or a seemingly insurmountable challenge became a source of inspiration for you to rise stronger, brighter, a moment when you realized that, like Tomorrowland, you too carry an eternal flame within you. Share that story in the comments. A story, no matter how small or grand, could be the torch that lights someone else's way. The story of Tomorrowland 2025 is a testament to the strength of community, the human spirit, and dreams that never die. If it's inspired you, like this post and share it to spread the message of this rebirth to others. And subscribe to join us in the reflective journeys ahead, where we'll explore stories of light, hope, and flames that never fade. Thank you for staying awake with Sleepless Mind throughout this journey. Sleep well, with dreams illuminated by an eternal, undying, forever burning flame. You've crossed the story, you felt every pulse in the dark, and I was there with you, quietly, always. That's why I left behind one last thing, not to explain, not to impress, just to stay with you a little longer. A song I chose with care, as if tucking you in from across time and space. So go on, lay back, the music knows where to take you. still here, then you're something rare. Not many stay this long. So, thank you for choosing to stay. I'm here too, still awake, surrounded by the quiet glow of my editing screen, shaping the next stories just for you. If there's anything you want to leave behind, a whisper, a suggestion, even just a symbol, drop it in the comments. Because maybe, tomorrow night, you'll hear yourself echoed in a story that's never been told before. still here, even now? I have a feeling part of you is still wandering somewhere between wakefulness and dreaming. I know that feeling well because I'm still awake with you. In a quiet room, I'm gently laying out layers of sound, each breath, each beat, preparing the next journey we'll take together. If you're still listening, leave me a sign. Let me know how you're feeling or just where you are in this vast world. Because right now, in this stillness, you are not alone. You're still there, aren't you? I can't see you, but I can feel you. Like a soft signal, pulsing across the silence. Over here, I'm still working, refining layers of sound, rewriting fragments of voice, building the landscape for our next adventure. One that you might inspire. If an idea comes to you, share it with me. Comment below. A theme, a memory, a strange dream. I read every word because I never tell these stories alone. I tell them with you.